Hola, bonjour, and hello. This is Europe Calling.
I said right down to Australia. All the people around the world, yeah, yeah. Gonna have a crazy party. Come and join the fun. Only happens once a year. Can you feel the atmosphere? Europe's calling, Europe's calling. Funny songs to scream and shout. That is what we dream about. Europe's calling, Europe's calling.
Hello, I'm your host, Brian Joseph, and thank you for joining us as we enter the second half of a little talk show we like to call Europe Calling. As you should know by now, I'm not alone as we spell truth and shade in this year's events. As always, I'll be joined by the gorgeous Betty Beyond, who will be performing yet another Eurovision lip sync. Let's join up with her now. Hey Betty girl, can you believe we're halfway through our first season?
I can't. It's just flying by and I'm loving every minute of it.
Likewise, but don't worry, we have plenty more lined up before we finish.
Glad to hear. I have some exquisite performances for the upcoming shows.
I'm sure you will. Speaking of which, what will you be gracing us with this week?
This week, Brendan, I'll be performing Same Heart by My Feingold.
Oh yes, that will be fierce. Best let you get ready though. See you soon, darling.
Bye, my loves.
It's time for our first segment, but before we begin, let's introduce my no strings attached co-host and Eurovision aficionado, Allie Lindo, for a chat. Hi Ali, we both may be in Sweden soon, but let's take a minute to reflect and get nostalgic on this year's national selection proceedings. Are you ready to reveal some of your best moments so far in AC 2016 land?
Hi, Brandon. I'm ready. There's been quite a few moments already.
There sure has. The first moment that I instantly think of is the long-awaited return of the Riga Beaver. He came back and gave it 110% this year. We saw him make a hilarious paper snowflake, twerk on stage and perform a rendition of Let It Go. What did you think about him?
I loved every single minute of it. What's not to love, really? It was the perfect level of good-natured silliness. Riga Beaver for Eurovision 2017.
Most definitely. Miss Moretti, Latvia please, let's get Riga Beaver to Eurovision, and if that fails then at least make him your president. He'd be perfect. Ali, what about you from this season?
My favourite was the entire selection process for Finland. I'm a fan of the craziness that always happens in Finnish selection shows, and for the first time this year I was able to see it live. I was not disappointed. It had everything from power ballads to half-naked men in hot tubs. Never change, Finland.
It certainly did. Shame I wasn't at UMK this year, else I'll be joining in. Another moment for me was the Icelandic and Swedish medleys this year. I'm a sucker for a medley, and to have some of my all-time favourite national final entries return and deliver, it was everything. Charlotte Perrelli, Timotei and Nana Gronfall. What more could you have asked, Ali?
Nothing. Charlotte Perrelli has always been a favourite of mine. This year she performed and hosted Melodifestivalen, and I loved everything she had to offer. This year's Melodifestivalen really honoured the past, and I think it was well done.
Those were definitely some standout performances. I personally love seeing BWO and Sarah Dawn Finer singing their mega hits, along with Euroband in Iceland. Loved every minute of it. Any last moments for you this year?
One last one from Melodifestivalen. I loved the dramatic readings of past mellow songs by famous Swedish actors, including Mikael Nyqvist from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It added a little bit more fun each week, and all the actors did a fabulous job keeping a straight face. I know I couldn't do it.
It took me a while to understand the humour from those segments, but after a while they grew on me, and I fell in love with the overall production. Any final thoughts?
I love the trend towards more modern songs. It will get more of the younger generations involved, but as long as it's more fun, more drama, and more beaver, I'm happy. Emphasis on more beaver.
And on that lovely note, that finishes our look back at the current 2016 highlights. After Stockholm, we'll be sure to have plenty more to add. Ali, thanks for dropping by, my dear. I will see you again same time next week.
Cannot wait. See you.
Hey da.
Hey do.
Now Eurovision fever has become strong as numerous artists, fans and press make their way to the Swedish capital for the live coverage to begin. Just about to arrive. Some footage of what you can expect in the upcoming days. Whether you're already in Stockholm, making your way soon, or perhaps plan to go in the near future, here's some advice on how to get the best experience possible, especially for 2016. Stockholm may be the most expensive city in Europe, but don't let that ruin the mood, as money can be saved efficiently through self-catering and buying foods from local supermarkets rather than heading to restaurants each night. If however you're out and about and got to get food on the go, then buy at lunchtime. Food is cheapest there and you can get a reasonable discount for a good meal. Also search for cheap places to eat, plenty of guides available online. Alcohol could easily become the main drain of your finances, especially if you plan to drink and party every night at the Eurovillage cafe and club. Firstly, if still possible, bring alcohol with you in your luggage or at duty free. Have a few drinks before heading out. Hopefully that'll give you the incentive to not buy as much €10 shots of vodka. Regarding tourist attractions, best recommendations are the ABBA Museum, Fotografiska, and of course most locations in Gamlistan. That's Old Town for you and me. Overall, plenty to do and budget cuts can be made. Have fun, enjoy the view and stay safe. I've not even arrived, but already can tell it's going to be a brilliant event. Special thanks to the EBU, SVT and ESC Daily for the accreditation and opportunity to visit one of my all-time favourite cities for my all-time favourite show. It's that time within the talk show where I take 2 cents, throw in Corolla's win machine and I get back my 2 cents. And why is it do this? Because 2 cents is simply not enough, people. God! This week the question is Eurovision even European anymore? Oh boy, we best get started. We previously discussed Sweden's current impact on the show, but we're developing outwards on this topic. Australia is now a permanent member in the show, and to some extent, well deserved. However, some critics are ranting, but they're not even European. Culture that could be argued though, but if we're going to look into this further, then what about Israel, Turkey, and even that one Morocco participation? Do we draw a line, and if so, where? Personally, I love the idea of a World Vision contest, but I understand there are certain cons if that were to happen. China were considered to have a guest participation last year, however that didn't seem to work out, maybe for the best. Australia have now confirmed the start of an official Asia Pacific contest, which sounds amazing. Separate show, but we get to see what Asia brings to the table. Turkey has done a similar thing too with the Turkic speaking nations, and I'm all for allowing the sub-contest winner to then go to Eurovision and represent their country as a guest. That I would fully support. The main issue is if they decide to let random non-European countries into the show permanently, like Australia, then that might jeopardise other European countries and we may end up getting a boycott in hand. I have hope that the scenario won't become real. That's why I'm offering my compromise of 1 guest place from the Asia Pacific contest if it becomes a successful sister programme to ESC. That was deep. What we need now is something lighter that will keep this episode's sexy factor. Therefore, it's time for the fabulous diva of Europe, Betty Beyond, to skin us alive with her performance of Israeli's 2014 entry, Same Heart by Mein Feinkold.
You fill me up with poisoned love. You fill my soul with sins, but I have learned to grow now. Too many lies, too many cries. There as long as the infinity, I'm starting to rise. Don't need to be criticized. I'm not an animal in captivity. I'm skinning you out, no longer apart. We don't beat from the same heart. I'm skinning you out, no longer apart. We don't beat from the same heart. We don't beat from the same heart. אתה שותק, אני שבויה מתוך מילים, נוצרה דממה. זמן לקום בלי חשש, לבחור מחדש, והשמש תתגלה אליי. דם בוער לא נרדם, הכוח בי קם, החופש כבר קורא לי לשם, מתוך הדממה אל אוויר לנשימה. לא אחזיר עוד פעימה, זמן לקום ולבחור, שמיים ואור. לא אחזיר עוד פעימה. And it's time for me to clean up your mess. I will take it without any regrets. And it's time for me to open my eyes and to recognize we don't beat from the same heart. same heart. We don't beat from the same heart.
Wow, we certainly don't beat from the same heart, as mine is through the roof after that. What a show it's been. Special thanks to my co-hosts Allie and Betty. That's all from us at Europe Calling. We hope to see you again next week for the penultimate episode before the live shows. Plenty more footage of Stockholm and essential questions to be answered. Don't go anywhere. Au revoir, adios, and take care.